On today's DNVR Broncos show, we are talking to Pat Surtain. We talked to him last night, and we're going to bring that interview to you today. We get Pat's first initial reaction to Jahdae Barron, plus his other teammates like Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, plus much more. And it all starts now. PS Tuesday in a little different form today on the DNVR Broncos Podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores. We are live from the DNVR Bar, and we are the DNVR Broncos Podcast. Ryan Koenigsberg to my left, Henry Chisholm to my right. We got Dion and you here behind the camera, and Zac Stevens rocking and rolling with you today. Fellas, how we doing on a dreary day in Denver?
Yeah, weather not ideal. Had an early morning golf lesson today.
Oh, wow.
Outside?
Yeah. A little indoor-outdoor situation.
Oh, like
Wow.
Top Golf indoor, outdoor?
No, it's like they have a little house that you go into and you get some camera video stuff and then you work on, then you go back out to the range.
Wow. Well, I know
so-
with that, then nothing's slowing you down the rest of the day.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal for that. But I will say, like, wearing shorts every day, you got to be real conscious of how much skin you're showing on camera.
Yep.
Kind of
Yes.
like today, just not having to
Yes.
think about it at all.
That is the worst part of wearing shorts, because sometimes you look up and you're like, not
You're
doing
like-
great
you're
there.
Like, that's a lot of inner thigh
It
for
is.
the people, and it's really white.
It is. It's all so white. Yeah, I did a story in college on Montana's women's golf team and their off-season practices, because it's all snowy, obviously. So they hit out of this big shed onto a driving range. But then they have to go by hand and pick every ball up out of the snow.
That's insane.
Isn't that awful?
Yes, like I don't even like when you go to like a chipping area at a practice place and then you have to like go get all the balls that you
Yeah.
chipped.
It's awful.
And that's just scooping them off the grass.
Yeah. But you just walk around out there and they're like, oh, yeah. So what you do is you see these little holes because they all like sink down into it.
They're
And
like
so what you're looking for is
owls
these
hunting
things.
in the snow.
Exactly.
gosh.
And you're getting,
They're like, you
That
wait till
was
you
a
hear a
good
little
time.
movement under the snow and then you dive bomb it.
my day also started with, so Lexi had to go to work early today and I was still asleep, but she came to say goodbye and she had like her big water bottle. It's one of those with a straw on it. And she
Yeah.
like bent over on top of me, above me, I should say, and poured water all over me while I was just like still asleep.
It's a good way to wake up.
Not only is it rainy, but I just got water dumped on me
So
to
wait,
start the day.
did she like have it in her purse?
It was like in a backpack. And so it just like tipped
yeah.
and just,
Yep.
So I
I've
was
done
soaked.
that before.
yeah.
You sure that wasn't intentional? Did you do anything wrong last night?
I don't think that she would have poured it on the AirPod intentionally.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which hopefully is just fine, but we're gonna leave that thing alone for a bit.
Put
and
it
see
in
what
rice?
happens. Apparently, you're not supposed to do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
but yeah. I guess now that I think of it, I saw one guy on Reddit say don't actually do that, and I've heard from hundreds of people that that's what you do.
Yeah.
So maybe I really should be trusting those guys.
It's worked for me before.
Yeah.
Has it?
Yeah.
Saved a phone?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. The phone's never quite the same though.
Maybe because that's rice dust everywhere.
I think it's more because like the motherboard or whatever they call it got a little fried.
So, according to Google AI, which I don't trust,
Definitely
putting a wet phone in rice is a popular myth, but it doesn't actually help dry the phone. While rice can absorb some moisture, it can also introduce dust and starch into the phone, potentially causing more damage.
Wow. Well, so we still don't know.
One thing I will say works every time. If you ever have cookies, you know how like cookies over time they get dry?
Yeah.
If you just put a slice of bread in wherever you're keeping the cookies, they don't get dry.
And then, really?
Yep. Got one more for you.
Okay.
If your dishwasher doesn't like do a good job of drying the dishes after they wash them, which mine is terrible.
Slice of
So
bread?
no. You take a little towel, put the towel in there, and then just like close it with the towel in there. Towel absorbs all the moisture.
Wow.
Interesting.
Brilliant.
Yep.
You got
Pretty
all
nice.
the tricks.
Because I hate when you're unloading the dishwasher and like the cup upside down like still has some water on it.
Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
You
just
have water on
ignore
your
it.
feet
I
all of a
just
sudden.
put it in the cabinet or whatever, and if it gets wet, it gets wet.
Yeah, but now it's on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not great. Our dishwasher also just struggles. Or whenever I take a glass out, it has like this white film on it, which might just be like from the hard water, but I always worry that it's actually like leftover dishwasher detergent. And so then I don't want to drink out of it.
Yeah, it's probably just the water.
Probably, right? Yeah. I don't know.
So
People in
Some
the chat.
microplastic here or there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So Henry, you brought up women's golf. Let's talk about
Yes.
women's soccer for a quick
Yeah.
second. Peyton Manning, part of the ownership group of the Denver women's soccer team that starts. Does that start this year or is it next year? 2026, 25?
Yeah, so it's next year.
2026. It was just announced this morning that the sheriff is now part of this group.
Let's go. It's just another thing that like solidifies Peyton as a Colorado guy.
Yep.
That's my number one takeaway from it. Like, he's literally laying down roots here, investing in things here. And I think at this point, that's completely just locked in. He's never going back, but
No.
every little thing still feels good.
Yeah. No, it is good. I think, I don't know, it's just good for them to get the exposure. Because like even the NWSL account has the like video of Peyton and Eli doing their thing, which is, you know, those, if Peyton makes a joke on the internet, it's going to blow up. Like people just eat that
Yeah,
up more than anything.
crazy.
And so bring him into Denver's NWSL team, like it definitely raises the profile.
You know what I just thought of? What if Peyton is the leader of the team to buy the Rockies? Talk about like the savior that he would be.
I've thought about that too.
Yeah. I wonder how much money Todd Helton has. Could they team up?
No, they need someone else.
Yeah.
But they could be the figureheads.
They could.
It could be the Manning family. Eli, Peyton,
Yep.
Archie. Maybe Arch joins too.
Yeah, they're paying him plenty on Texas. That would be cool. Anyone. Literally anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, anyone, but definitely if it's Peyton, that would be so cool.
They're hot though.
What?
They won yesterday.
Well,
Just
yeah,
like I said.
You called it.
You
You
never,
called
like I
it.
said.
you never beat the Rockies 9 times in a
No,
row.
you don't. And they've
Credit
proven
where
that
it's
4
due.
times.
Yep.
And now today, Chase Dolander's back.
Oh, yeah.
They're playing like 440 again against the Marlins against some pitcher who's been terrible.
Have they won 2 in a row this year?
Once, yes.
Oh my god.
But they could tie their longest streak.
It's not happening.
I think
I
it
really
is.
like the record 10-50.
It is nice to
pretty
look
crisp.
at.
Yep.
Enjoy for the next 4 hours.
And 10-51 doesn't do it for me. 11-51 doesn't do it for me. Really probably can't be anything good again until 15-55 would feel nice.
Ooh.
Or
That'd feel
like
really
what
nice.
would that? They're on a
But they'd have to go 5-5 over their next 10 games, which is not happening.
yeah, probably not. What are they on pace for right now? 25 wins?
I think it's 27 now.
27. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Depressing.
It's
Most
like the
losses-
27 Yankees.
Most losses ever is 134, and that was in like 1876 or whatever.
All right.
So 162 minus 27. So they are on pace for 135 losses. So they
That
would
would-
beat the record by one.
Wow.
Oh, that's only one?
By one.
Oh, gosh. All right. They need to lose.
I mean,
today.
there's a 150-year history.
I know, but I want to blow the record away.
That's tough to do.
What a depressing
In
thing to be
150
talking
years.
about. You want to be so bad that you set the record.
And then get the
I-
10th overall pick.
Yeah, which is just terrible. I agree with you on all of that, though. But let's jump into something a little more, actually a lot more happy to talk about, and that's the defensive player of the year. Pat Surtain held his annual gala last night, and I don't even know if you can call it an annual gala because he does this multiple times a year. But he has a foundation, the Pat Surtain II Foundation, and he had a really cool event last night. We'll actually hear about the event and understand where Pat's foundation is right now later in the show. But we got to talk to him for the first time since he won Defensive Player of the Year back in February at the Super Bowl. We saw Pat last night, and we have the interview, and Pat was asked so many different things. But let's just hear what's it been like an off season where you're the Defensive Player of the Year. Because remember when Vaughn was the Super Bowl 50 MVP, He had the off season that was,
Yeah.
I mean, once in a lifetime for anyone in the NFL. He was doing Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
He was
Every late show.
everything. I mean, he was flying on private jets left and right, and he was documenting it. So we got to follow Von's journey. Pat, a little more subdued. We obviously saw the mural that was unveiled last week. We'll hear Pat's thoughts on that. But what's it been like being the Defensive Player of the Year?
Defend or whatever?
Yeah, it's been a busy off season. After that, receiving that award, but it's something I'm thankful for, something that I work for. So at the end of the day, coming with that comes with a lot of expectations as well going into the season. But I just feel like when I go out there and play my game, the rest will settle itself.
Man, I know Pat wasn't at OTAs last week, but he's the last guy that I'd be worried about, like, being ready for the season.
Yeah.
And having too crazy of an off season where he doesn't show up in shape or something like that. That's the least that I would be concerned about with any guy.
Every time I hear him talk, I just think to myself, I can't believe we got 2 Champ Baileys.
Yeah.
Like, having 1 Champ Bailey was one hell of a blessing. We somehow got 2. It's like having John Elway and then having Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, being a Broncos fan is just so sick. And we somehow got 2 Champ Baileys. And every time he talks, I'm just like, wow, we did it again.
Yep. Yep.
It's
yep.
awesome.
Yep. And Champ should have been Defensive Player of the Year in 05 when he had 9 interceptions or something like that.
10, I think.
10 interceptions.
10. Yep.
1 or 2 for pick sixes. So he should have been Defensive Player of the Year. But what's crazy is at 25 years old, Pat already has something that Champ doesn't.
Yeah.
And that is that Defensive Player of the Year. It's absolutely crazy. And the way he talks, I feel like I'm talking to a guy that's been in the league for 15 years, that's just master, that's as cool as the other side of the pillow. And it's like, no, he's 25 years old.
Yeah.
25, and he's already had this foundation for 3 years. He's already been a Pro Bowler for 3 years. He's already been a first-team All-Pro. He's already been Defensive Player of the Year. It's crazy. I feel like every time that I think about Pat's career, I have to take a step back and be like, no, he still has so much of his career left. So much of his story is still unwritten right now, which is just mind-blowing.
And Champ's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep. Yep. Which doesn't,
And
the Broncos don't get
PS2
that nod
is
often.
outpacing him.
Yeah. Big time.
Insane.
Yeah. No, it really is crazy. I mean, Champ had like the best season a cornerback has ever had. And Pat, it's crazy when you look at like Champ got targeted like 77 times in that season when he had 10 picks. Pat was targeted 55 times last year with one more game played. And so somehow, despite the fact that Champ was doing what he was doing, they were still throwing him more than they threw at Pat Surtain. Like, they're so scared.
Teams used to be more stubborn about that stuff. It didn't used to be as like obvious as it is now of like, oh, they're not throwing at the number 1 corner. I remember guys getting chances and, Darrell Revis.
Yep.
Like, I felt like they all had so many more chances. Now, if the ball goes Pat's way one time, I'm like, oh, whoa, this quarterback's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. And all the catches he gives up, it's just because they're playing off coverage.
Yep.
It'll just be like, oh, yep, just gave him 3 yards and ran up and made the tackle. Like, you can have that. That was allowed.
I mean, it's literally what he did to Jamar Chase last year. I think Jamar was targeted 7 times against Pat, had 3 catches for 21 yards. It's like, you'll take that any day of the week. And then, of course, when Jamar wasn't on, in the same game, when he wasn't on Pat Surtain, he had like 80 yards. So he finished with over 100 yards in the game, but not when going up against Pat. There's also one more stat that has not been talked about enough with how good Pat Surtain's year was last year. And I want to tell you about that after I give a shout out to our friends over at UC Health. They've got their Healthy Swings Charity Home Run Derby this Thursday, about 52 hours from now, June 5th.
Did you just
UC
think of that
Health.
off the top of your head?
52
hours?
Yeah, because I know it's around the afternoon, so I just add 4 to 48.
Nice,
I think
dude.
so. Thank you.
Impressive.
They're holding their 7th annual UC Health Healthy Swings charity event. Broncos players like Cortland Sutton, Alex Singleton, and Marvin Mims are stepping up to the plate at Coors Field to raise money. UC Health has donated over $900,000 to local charities over 6 iterations of this, supporting Coloradans with food insecurity, cancer screenings, and veterans' mental health challenges. And this year's beneficiary is the Freedom Service Dogs, which provides service dogs to individuals with limited mobility, young adults with autism, veterans, and first responders to help with disabilities like PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, and more. Really cool event. So many Broncos are going to be out there. We're going to be out there too. So make sure you're tuning into this show. If you can't make it down there, you can get tickets by going to rockies.com/healthyswings. And you can check out all the cool things UC Health is doing by going to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, live extraordinary.
Also, shout out to Volo. I think Volo doesn't need to be advertising anymore because everybody does Volo. Like literally
Don't tell them
everybody.
this.
No, don't listen, Volo. But everybody I talk to already does Volo.
Yeah.
Like there was a weird triple birthday party that I went to on Saturday. Everybody there was like, oh yeah, I was playing kickball last night, or like, oh, playing softball. Or like everybody is playing Volo.
Yeah. By the way, have you seen Volo Beach?
No.
They put in a series of beach volleyball courts off of South Broadway, and it is sick.
Oh,
I actually
drove by
had
it
heard of
last
that.
night, and it was popping. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
that sounds awesome.
Volo has taken over. But I guess like Apple still advertises and everybody has an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like there's no need. Or like McDonald's has advertisements, but everybody already knows. I don't know. I guess that's just how you maintain.
That's how you take it to the next level.
I guess.
Volo on the Apple path.
Yeah. No, but I think that's the only comparison.
Buy
is
stock
Apple.
in Volo quickly.
Yes, do it. I don't know if that's allowed, but
I
do
don't
it.
think it's public
Everybody
yet.
plays Volo. They've got every sport: soccer, volleyball, pickleball, all that sort of stuff. Drinking games. And if you want to sign up as a free agent, small group, or full team, and all ability levels and backgrounds are welcome to join. Use code DNVR10 for $10 off any Volo Denver league.
Shout out to everyone that's tuning in in the Toyota chat. Hit us with a thumbs up if you're there. I see a comment from Preston who says, that was a short PS2 interview. We have 9 more clips to play you. We've just been dilly-dallying, so don't worry. There's a lot more from Pat coming your way. And before we hit the next clip, guys, just since we're talking about how good Pat Surtain is, one of the things that I think has really gone under the rug with Pat is he had 4 interceptions last year. It tied a career high. He had 4 as a rookie as well. Now they're throwing his way even less, so that 4 is even more impressive. But he had a league high 134 yards after an interception return yards, 134. I feel like
100 of those was on one.
yeah, but still, I mean that's pretty impressive. But I
Changed
feel
the
like
whole season, by the way.
oh, it was
Yeah.
the play of the season. Like Bo Nix made some incredible throws, which were key and stuff. Without that pick six, Pat Surtain,
Yeah.
pick 6. The Broncos don't make the playoffs. They might not even have a winning record. Like
That
they were
one-
going to lose to the Raiders right there.
And then I think back to Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball before he got in the end zone. That was the other one that really could have changed their trajectory. If he would have held on to that, I can't remember what the score is. Would that put him up 3 scores, I think?
Yeah, it was ugly at that time.
It was really ugly.
So shout out Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, that's the other turning point.
But I feel like people don't give Pat credit enough for being a game changer. They think of him as like an absolute lockdown cornerback. No one's going to throw his way. Both of those things are true. But the other thing that's true is he is becoming that game changer. And that play, while that was 100 of the 134 yards, that play was so important. You can't just discount that. So he needs to be talked about as this game-changing cornerback as well. I feel like Sauce still gets like that credit. Oh yeah, Sauce will get beat, but he'll also make plays. Not like Pat. Pat's making the big plays and shutting guys down.
Speaking of, I saw PFF put out their cornerback rankings today, and they ranked the reigning defensive player of the year as the 2nd best corner in the NFL.
Get
Was Stingley
out of
first?
here.
No, Sauce Gardner.
No.
Sauce was. Everybody hates Sauce now, though.
Yeah.
Okay, PFF is just doing
Oh.
engagement farming now with Broncos because did you see what they did yesterday with, I think it was defensive linemen or interior
Oh,
defensive
yeah, they
lineman
didn't
rankings?
have Zach Allen on the list, right?
In the top 10.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, you've got to be kidding me.
I think it's just one guy making those. Like, I don't think it's like PFF is like, I think they have one guy making the list. Because, like, even by PFF, so Sauce, his rookie year, 87.9 grade. Next year, 88.6 grade. Last year, 70.2. Like, he was legitimately bad last year. So I think, I can't remember who it is, but I think there's one guy who's making all these. And some casual takes, I would say.
Casual takes.
Somebody who
is
has
right.
not been paying much attention.
Bad
anyways,
takes. Yeah.
Yes.
you're right about Pat Surtain being a game changer, and I think, and it'd be interesting to like talk to Akib or Chris or any of the legends about this, Champ Bailey. I think the older and more savvy you get, you can sense when your team really needs something and take a little more risk, take a little, maybe bait the quarterback into throwing your way to try and create something, because you can feel like, oh, a turnover here would really change this game. We're down 17. We've got nothing going. Like, let me see if I can take a little risk here and get us something that changes this game. And I think Pat will get even better and better at that as he goes on.
Totally. Yeah. I completely agree. And especially when he is surrounded by even better cornerbacks, and Broncos are trying to make that happen with Jahdae Barron. We'll get to that in a second, but let's just continue with where he is this offseason. We saw the mural that was unveiled in downtown Denver last week. It just absolutely incredible. I think I heard it's 3,000 square feet of mural for Pat Surtain. And he went down there, got to see it right when it was unveiled. And here was Pat's thoughts on it.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. It was a surprise when I got there. The mural was huge. A lot of creation, a lot of detail behind it. The inspiration was crazy. And I was glad I got to see the visuals, and everything that went behind the scenes. I met the artists and everybody that was in tune, with the dedicated craft to get that done. So it's a pretty dope mural for sure.
Have you guys seen it in person?
No.
I have, and it's legit, but I haven't seen all of the athletes' murals because shout out to Denver and Colorado scene. Yep. There's been so many murals of Jokic, of Jamal, really of the Nuggets around town, actually really close to us too here at DNVR. And I talked to RG because he's seen them all. Yeah. And he's also an artist. And he said, not every mural's done well, especially in person. You can really tell they're done well or not. And he said they did this one right. It looks great in person, just as it does in the pictures.
Yeah, I mean, the pictures, it looks really crisp. And I think they recently retouched the Nuggets one down the street, and that one looks great too. But the art of creating something like this has to be so difficult at that scale. And this, I can't wait to go see that one in person because it looks beautiful on pictures.
My only beef with it is that it's like a sponsored mural. Like they have like the ad up in the corner, and you're just like, well, that's not. It kind of takes away from the spirit of murals of like we're painting on the wall. It's like on the side of it. Like there's something that's like natural and
it's
with
also
the other
nice
ones.
that the artist probably got paid for his work.
Also true, and it's like it's awesome and it's great. It's definitely like
his or her work.
A little corporate-y feeling. If it didn't have that ad, I would like it a lot more. It's still a great mural. No bad murals out there.
It was the most exposure that ad. I'm not going to give them the credit for it, but it's the most exposure they've ever gotten. It was brilliant.
Totally.
Whatever money they spent was the most money that the best money they've ever spent.
But now whenever I look at the
DNVR partner,
and there's competing partners here at DNVR.
I was going to say,
so
to the opposite of what you're saying, I didn't even notice that there was an ad.
Really?
Yeah.
Every time I see it, I see the ad and I just get frustrated.
I noticed it because, again, I was like, fantastic business decision to make, actually. And let's hear one more thing from Pat on actually many more things, but how his game can get better. Being the defensive player of the year, reflecting on this. And he actually pointed to one specific thing, which I found interesting here. How can Pat's game get even better?
I still feel like I could always get better in my game. Just even my leadership role, being able to impact players around me, as much as I can, and just honing in on the little intricate things that I could work on, the little details that I know that could definitely refine my game.
Yeah, I'm sure there's little details that everyone can work on in their life, but like, come on, Pat, you're the best defensive player in the game. You just maintain where you're at and you're all good. But he pointed to leadership and making those around him even better. And to be fair, guys, he's 25 years old. Last season was his, fourth season in the NFL. He was a captain last year, but you can't really expect like true leadership outside of maybe Bo Nix. You can't really expect true leadership from a guy who's
older than him.
Exactly. Yeah. From a guy that's 21, 22, but now he actually is in a place where we can point to and be like, you are not only the leader of this defense, you should be the leader, and we can put more on you now.
Yeah. And I will say, like, not everyone is wired to be a rah-rah, you know, pregame speech type of leader, and I definitely don't think Pat is. But I do think that his work ethic is something that everyone can learn from, and he probably could do a better job, and I don't know whether he does this or not, but of like encouraging his teammates to work as hard as he does, especially when it comes to film study and things of that nature. Like, he can make the team better by just showing his teammates what he did to become the defensive player of the year. Like, you don't just waltz your way into that. It's a lot of day-to-day grind that I think everyone could benefit from seeing and understanding better.
Yeah, I think on the field, the one thing I still want to see is a touchdown-free season. I think that would be something sick to be able to put on the resume, is go an entire year without giving up a touchdown. Because I'm pretty sure Champ never did it. At least PFF only goes back to 2006. He had like 3 one-touchdown season with the Broncos, and Pat only gave up 2 last year, but a no-touchdown season. I think that would be, that's like the next thing I want to see.
That's incredibly difficult going against the number 1 wide receiver.
Oh, totally.
Every play.
17 weeks, but he's capable.
I was going to say, just along these same lines, like I've talked about the same thing with Travis Hunter too at Colorado. Like, his legacy will be, this is what it took to win the Heisman Trophy. You know?
Yeah.
If you're not working as hard as he did, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you trying to be? And I think the same thing is true of Pat. Like, you just saw what it takes to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. If you're on this team and you're not working that hard, is that you don't want to be great? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's legacy.
Well, how about this standard now that Jahdae Barron's walking into? Pat Surtain is the only first-round pick on the Broncos defense before they drafted Jahdae. How crazy is that? Broncos had the 3rd best scoring defense in the NFL, elite in so many areas, including, I mean, the best pass rush, and Pat was their only first-round pick on defense. Now Jahdae steps in, not just the 2nd first-round pick on the defense, but at that cornerback spot, there's no one better for him to learn from. And we heard it from Aqib talking to Benny, and Aqib said he has the cheat code. Jahdae has the cheat code because he has Pat Surtain. Follow him, be in his ear, have his number, text him, annoy the hell out of him, because you're not actually going to annoy him. Pat's going to respect that and understand it. And maybe this is when we really see Pat's leadership come out, is how he takes Jahdae under his wing. But Jahdae has to be willing to do that. Because Pat can only, lead him to water. You can't force him to drink it. Now, everything we've heard about Jahdae is he is going to be that type of guy. But this might be the best example of what a leader Pat can be. And yeah, there is a lot of pressure on you, Jahdae. Everyone thought the Broncos were going offense in the first round. Instead, they went with defense because they thought you were that good. Now, no one's expecting him to become Pat Surtain, but you better be darn good, and you have the Defensive Player of the Year to learn from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what kills me about him not being at practice last week. It's just like, just go, like, get these reps in, like, talk to those guys. Like, these are the low, like, but do we know? I guess he's in town now, so hopefully he's there this week.
Yeah.
He was in town last week as well for the mural unveiling.
That's true.
Just to be fair.
That is true.
And I made some calls this morning and wasn't able to find out if he was there today or not, because Broncos are back at it doesn't mean he's not there.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. Broncos were back at OTAs today. They have OTA practice today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Media's out there Thursday, so we'll be coming to you on Thursday, letting you know if he's out there and what else is going on at OTA. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for Pat talking about Jahdae. We got the first reaction from Pat about the Broncos draft and Jahdae, what he brings. I thought there was some good insight there. Plus, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, what those guys add here. And before we get to that, want to give a shout out to our friends over at Mando, where Henry was saying, like, everyone's doing Volo. Everyone sweats. So you
At
have
Volo
to have
especially.
Mando, especially a Volo. And Volo is actually a place where you kind of meet people.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's a little meeting friends, meeting
There's definitely been
potential
some Volo
partners.
marriages.
And you want to
Yes.
make sure you smell good. Or else that's like the initial turnoff. And Mando's got you covered from head to toe. If you don't plan on taking a shower every 12 hours, which pretty much no one does, then you need Mando, because they're going to help you with that extended period where you're not taking a shower. And we're not just talking pits. We're talking parts. We're talking grundles. We're talking belly buttons, butt cracks, everywhere. Feet. anywhere you want, Mando has got you
Heck of a
covered.
slippery.
And Mando has got you covered on so many different fronts, because if you're like, well, I don't know where to start with Mando, they've got the Mando starter pack, which is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And then they're going to give you $5 off that by using the code DNVR over at shopmando.com. All of that together equates to over 40% off your starter pack over at Mando. Go to shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com, and use the code DNVR. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you by using that code DNVR. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
Probably the hardest thing to overcome in a first impression would be smelling bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it would also be hard if someone found out that you had a bad bank.
Wow.
That
That
very
would show
true.
bad judgment.
And that wouldn't happen at First Bank.
No.
You come in smelling good and flexing that you bank with First Bank, you're off to a great start. You really are. And whether you're at home or on the road or somewhere in between, First Bank makes banking easy, convenient, and secure. Their mobile banking app allows you to check balances, pay friends, and manage your money anytime, anywhere. And best part, you can open a new First Bank checking account today and you could earn $300. So if you're ready for better banking and the chance to earn a little extra, head to efirstbank.com/bonus. That's efirstbank.com/bonus to open your account. Bank how you want, when you want with First Bank. Certain restrictions and requirements apply. Member FDIC.
And again, shout out to everyone that's tuning in with us. Hit us with a thumbs up. We really appreciate everyone, especially the people that are in the chat, like Joe, like Wolfgang, who says he was finally able to make it in here. Jose, we got Gen X, so many OGs rocking and rolling with us. We got Cody Chepa in here as well. So shout out to everyone. And shout out to Pat Surtain, who talked about the new additions to this team. Let's hear Pat talking about the additions of Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga.
It's great additions to our team and towards our success. Obviously, with Dre and Hufanga, you know, them guys gonna get after it. I mean, they've been in Super Bowls before. They know how to win at a high level. So, you know, adding those guys to the team, you know, it just looks sharper on the horizon. So I'm looking forward to stepping on the field with them.
And those guys are going to just bring a different mentality than Pat. And it's great to have that balance on the field, because Pat's as cool as the other side of the pillow. And then Dre Greenlaw, he plays with his hair on fire. And shout out actually to Talanoa Hufanga, a brand new teammate of Pat's, was at his event last night. Ooh. Really cool.
Nice
Getting
move.
some brownie points.
Nice move.
Yeah. Excuse me. Let's hear from Pat talking about Jahdae Barron.
Good bounce back.
We just thank you. We just talked about Jahdae, and here's what Pat has seen of Jahdae already. What do you think of Jahdae Barron and what he brings as a corner to the team?
You know, he brings a lot of versatility towards the defense. He's smart, savvy. He makes plays, and it's a big addition towards our team, because I know he's gonna make plays on the team. And, you know, he's catching up fast, so you know, it's a great addition towards our team.
Great addition towards the team, but the thing that really stood out to me there was he's catching up fast. Rookies are always behind the 8 ball, and sometimes it does take a year or 2 or 3 for them to really get going. I mean, Nick Benito, he didn't break out till his 3rd season, and he was as talented as could be, but it just takes guys some different times to catch up. And with Jahdae, Pat says he's already catching up. That's music to my ears.
Did you say he's bearing on them?
Wow, bearing down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Good.
No, it's definitely good to hear. Just want to see him fit in. I don't have a lot to add.
It's crazy to think about where the secondary could go if all the pieces click. And I'm just like so excited to see like a preseason game. I don't know if they're actually going to play him or what, but like they would play the rookie, but I mean, all of them together, just the first time we get to see that, I feel like it's a quarterback's nightmare. Congratulations, Cam Ward. You get to play them in your first game.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Will Levis. You get to start the first game so that Cam Ward doesn't get killed.
That's what I've been saying. People think that's a crazy take.
No, that is definitely the right take, in my opinion.
One last good meme from Will Levis trying to like throw a pass from his knees or something.
And then a mayonnaise commercial right after he throws like a pick six to Pat Surtain or something.
Yep.
Because he's the big one into mayonnaise, right?
Yes.
He puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
Yeah. That's...
Do you think he actually does all that stuff, or just knew that he could get attention for saying that?
I don't know. Maybe he got like a Duke's Mayo deal out
I think
of it
he did.
too.
Oh, he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a commercial made
Yeah.
with the mayonnaise company.
That's
Yeah.
why maybe we should try that.
No, I'll let you do it.
Like, just say you're really into something. To,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. It's like, I really think that you put peanuts in.
Cola. That's a big thing.
That is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
No.
it?
What would be? No, it is.
Peanuts
a thing.
in coffee?
Yeah, I put peanuts in my coffee. Planters, reach out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to shoot for the stars.
Just-
Everyone go somewhere bigger.
I like peanuts.
Peanuts in like a glass Coca-Cola bottle. It's like a big southern
Yeah,
delicacy, you could say.
You got
it's
to
a
be pulling
delicacy
my
for
leg.
them.
No, for real. And then at the end, you kind of get these like sweet peanuts. And then your Coke's a little salty.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I always just put a bunch of ice in. I'm too old to be drinking like actual Coke, just too sweet.
Yeah.
And so I just let sit in the ice for a bit and water down. But I
Wait.
guess maybe the peanuts.
Instead
the
of just
salt
getting a
would be the same.
Diet Coke, you just water down
Because
a
I don't.
regular
The
Coke.
diet taste is just so bad.
Yeah,
Like I
you're
just
not
can't
quite
get it
old
down.
enough yet. Once you're washed, it'll start tasting good to you.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in there, but it just tastes terrible.
Like,
Once you hit 30.
I prefer Diet Coke and Gatorade Zero to their counterparts.
I'm with you
10
on the
years ago,
Gatorade
you
Zero.
Oh yeah, 10 years
Yeah.
ago I was like, what is wrong with these
Yeah.
Yeah.
sugarless?
I agree. I
drinks?
used to think Gatorade Zero was awful, but now I drink.
It's the go-to.
I go through phases where I'll drink like 3 a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really good, and it's
good.
zero.
Jose says bee honey on white rice. Is there any such honey besides bee honey? Like, do
Definitely
you have to
hasn't taken
specify
off in the
bee
same
honey?
way.
There's
Bee-
probably like artificial honey that
That's
didn't
true.
come from bees.
That's
Probably.
true.
but not from any other
Does
animals.
anything else
Yeah.
make honey?
No.
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 You
By
know,
the
you-
way, that sounds good to me. Honey on just about anything sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree.
Mayo on
Don't know how we got here. You said Barron down, and I think it just all went downhill.
Will Levis.
From that. Will Levis, yes, Cam Ward. Oh, the secondary being so good.
Yeah.
Ryan, when you were talking, something that went through my mind is this secondary is the strength of the entire team, in my opinion. But what's crazy is the pass rush was the best pass rush in the NFL last season, and it wasn't even close. They blew number 2 out of the water. And so then it makes me question myself, like, was the secondary actually the strength of the team, or is it the pass rush? And I'm pretty confident saying, no, it still is the secondary. But with that pass rush being so good, it just makes me so excited about what this defense truly is and can be if the pass rush is the best in the NFL. And I truly think the secondary is even better than the pass rush.
Yeah, and I think, pass rush success is a real chicken and egg scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because of the coverage, or is the coverage looking better because of the pass rush
Yeah.
is forcing quarterbacks to make errant throws? In this case, especially considering Pat Surtain is the best player on the team, I think it is the coverage that is aiding the pass rush. But it doesn't matter. You just need to make sure you have one so that the other can happen. And this secondary just got better.
Yeah.
So the pass rush should have better opportunities, more opportunities. Quarterbacks
Goodness.
holding the ball even longer.
Goodness.
And yeah, it makes you think that maybe you should pay Nick Benito now.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Get ahead of it.
Because they blitz so much, I think I say coverage is better.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're saying like, yeah, like they're rushing with 4 and getting home, but when you're rushing with 6 as often as they are on third downs and just playing man coverage behind, I feel like you only do that if you really trust the coverage.
When you know who's
Not
going
they
to
don't
help
trust
with
the
the
pass
pass rush too is not only the coverage being coverage, but the coverage blitzing. And that's going to be a specialty of Jahdae as well. And so is Pat Surtain counting on Jahdae helping his stats by just adding to the secondary? Here's what Pat said to that.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, you can only control what you can control, but if that involves me, getting more attempts at the ball, making more plays, then, can't be too mad at it.
There's no way week 1, well, if it's Will Levis, maybe he does test Pat Surtain. But there's no way that Jahdae's initial impact on the team like helps Pat so much because it seems like we don't want to throw to Jahdae's side. We're going to throw to Pat's side. No. But imagine if he gets that good where teams really are saying like, it doesn't matter if we throw to Pat's side or Jahdae's side. It stinks either way. So let's just occasionally throw to Pat's side a little more. Then you throw to Riley. But that would be just so cool. If he gets to that level, that's when we know he's truly made it.
Absolutely. That's a long ways away.
Yes. Yes.
And just to what your point, I know I'll never forget watching I think it was like an Instagram live. And it was Drew Lock and Baker Mayfield.
Yes, it was.
And they were talking about how their rookie years, their coaches would just like point out players and just be like, find him pre-snap. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. It was like Derwin James, I think, was the one for Drew Lock. And then who was the guy that was on the Jets? Good safety, then traded to
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So I think it was Jamal Adams for Baker, and they were just like, both of them said like, yeah, our offensive coordinator was just like, okay, get to the line, find him, look to the other side.
And then both of them were like, nope, we're going to test him.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about that yesterday.
Well, I think Drew did say like, yeah, one time I was like, this one's definitely there. And then he almost picked it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. I was thinking about this yesterday, but kind of the opposite. Because I was thinking like against the Titans, you just run the football. Like, don't put it in the air. Don't take any risk. You should be able to beat them easy. Titans, though, like, their strength is in the trenches. Starting cornerback is supposed to be Jarvis Brownlee Jr., who I have never heard of and was a 5th-round pick last year. So I was kind of thinking, well, maybe you just throw the ball his way. On top of that, the other starting cornerback is L'Jarius Sneed, who was like,
good.
Well, yes, but was like shooting at the people from the car, or it was either him or his manager. Regardless, he was in the car.
I didn't know about
This offseason?
Yeah, in like December. For some reason, this one didn't get as big a news as you would have thought.
Yeah. Did not come to the top of my head.
And it also seems like it's a civil case, and I'm not sure. Very confusing. Point is, he could be suspended week 1, and if that's the case, then you're looking at, maybe a lot of Marcus Harris or Amani Aurier or Kevin Winston Jr. But I really think you might just go empty and just let Bo shred him.
Yeah, you're
throw
giving
it toward Jarvis every time.
Everyone's hyping up the running game all offseason. They just start 5 wide for the whole game.
But like they play the 3-4. Their 3 are Sebastian Joseph Day, Tavondre Sweat, and Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah. And then their outside linebackers, Arden Key and Draymond Jones, who
players.
Draymond as a pass rusher maybe doesn't scare you too much. You put him as an outside linebacker, that's a good run defender.
Yeah.
So, I'm starting to lean the other way.
The Draymond Jones revenge game, week 1. Have we been phrasing this game wrong the whole time?
Cody Barton, too.
Uh-oh. The X's on defense come back to town.
Yeah. Broncos 27-0.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
63-21 combined score of the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, let's continue to hear from Pat now. Will he play in the Olympics? Let's hear from him after I give a shout out to our friends. This is, if you give a shout out to yourself and a friend, are you giving a shout out to
a friendship?
A friendship. We're going to give a shout out to a great friendship right now. Very soon. And it's a true fan travel because we are going to London. I believe all of the specifics are now finalized for this trip. And guys, it's going to be an incredible one.
Epic.
The first time we went out there, it was incredible, amazing. Probably the best week that I've ever had on this job. Maybe best weeks of the life, even potentially. Now, we're just fine-tuning it and perfecting that week. Yes, exactly. Yeah, good call. Fine-tuning it and perfecting it with true fan travel. And if you want to join us, it's a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Includes a 5-night stay at a luxury hotel, private tours, pub meetups, an exclusive pep rally, tickets to the game at Tottenham's Hotspur Stadium, and so much more. And if you want to get in on this travel, go to truefantravel.com. Travel across the pond with true diehards and experience London the DNVR way. Don't miss out on this ultimate fan experience, and you can book at truefantravel.com. It's going to be amazing.
We should get some testimonials from people who were there last time.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I felt like, 1, everyone that was there had a great time.
Yep.
And 2, we were like friends with them by the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, it was like,
Yes.
that was like one of my favorite parts. Is like, we actually knew these people because we saw them like, 5 days in a row or whatever. And so you get past the small talk of just like, hey, I love the show. Like, which I love doing that.
Yeah.
It's way cooler when it's like, so how's your family?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're going to have those conversations with those people this upcoming trip. You can also go to thednvr.com/events or scan the QR code on the screen.
Also, shout out to Empire. If you're looking for new floors, Sunday we had a big cleaning day. Floors got cleaned.
By the way, look at this personal growth for Henry. I invited him golfing on Sunday. He said no, can't let Lexi clean the house all by herself.
I'm not gonna lie,
That is
she
impressive.
She did better. There were like a bunch. There were like 7 factors that went into that decision, and if any one of them weren't there, I would have been golfing. Like if I golfed in the past month, I'd be like, okay, maybe. If I wasn't about to book like 4 different trips, be like, oh, maybe. If it wasn't rent day, like it was just all these factors. Point is, our floors look brand new, and there's nothing like a new floor, which I honestly just realized. If you want to check out the floors, you can actually use their little thing and see what all the different floors look like in your house.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, which, I'm kind of tempted now to go back to my house and just see what all the different floors would be. Because I don't know. I've never really had like a strong floor preference. I've been a little bit anti-carpet just because I feel like it kind of gets gross. But that might just be the way that I take care of carpet and not so much other stuff.
But Empire floors, once you see these crispy wood floors, it's hard to go back.
Empire floors are the best floors.
Still looks like new.
It does. It's under the rug right now. But yeah, over there it looks good. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code DNVR. Yes, you heard right. A $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DNVR for full details.
Oh, and really quick, one more thing about the True Fan Travel on our trip. We've got Benny joining us.
Oh, yeah.
So it is
that's
going to
right.
be so cool. Come hang out with us and Benny. And Pat is also going to be out there. And the Olympics in 3 years from now. Does he want to play in it?
Nope.
Here's what he said. And see if it goes along with what Ryan just said.
Yeah, you can embrace it, but at the end of the day, it's definitely a high interest, because Olympics is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, I don't know. We'll see how my body feels at 28. So,
Okay, Pat, you're not that old. He's going to be 28 years old when the Olympics. That should be like his peak. So, if he has high interest in playing in the Olympics, shouldn't he be on the team?
Nope.
No. Oh, just too risky.
No Broncos. Thanks.
That's what every fan said too. Like looking through the responses of the tweet, it's like, oh, nobody wants Pat to play in the Olympics. And again, I get it because it would suck if he got hurt. At the same time, though, like he's been just fine in the flag football games at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
If anything,
Look,
I would imagine Olympics less strenuous than the Pro Bowl.
I'll put it this way. If it happens, I'll be really happy for him. And then I'll be really nervous watching the games.
Yeah. I also, maybe within the next 3 years or whatever, I'll get more excited. As of now, I'm not super excited to watch flag football in the Olympics.
Oh, I'm definitely not. No.
No.
How do you feel about Jokic when Serbia's playing?
Nervous.
That's awesome.
But he also never gets hurt.
Exactly.
He has like wear and tear stuff, which
Pat's only had a concussion.
I know.
I know, but football's just different.
Yeah,
like
football is.
But it's flat.
he moves explosively. Like you're cutting and like
I don't want to think
do all
about
that.
this.
I agree. Like when
I
you're
hope
just
that whatever his hopes and dreams are, he gets to live them.
Pat would play offense too if he did it. He said that last year.
I think you'd have to, right?
I think you get like 10 players on a team, and
It's 5 versus 5.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess you don't have to.
Man, it's going to be like Pat Surtain, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
I still think we should roll out just our current flag football team.
Well, that's what the quarterback of that flag football
It would
team
make
is
it a lot
saying.
easier for me to just focus in on the other stuff.
Well, it would make it me more likely to pay attention.
Just because it's more competitive.
Yeah, and just like, hey, like these guys made a bold claim, like they better go get us a gold medal.
That throwing motion's so disgusting,
It's so
though.
bad.
It's like, it's comical. You think it's fake.
Yeah.
As Angel says, man, Olympic gold medal has a nice ring to it. Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe he's got an MVP by then. He's an Olympic gold medal. Like, come on.
I know.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But I
It
just
just
think
doesn't
if
need-
Pat
you shouldn't get a
wants to
medal
do
for
it,
that.
at 28 years old, Pat, your body's going to be feeling fine. But also, it will be right before training camp. Literally, it's like 2 weeks before training camp. I understand the people that are wary of that.
Yep.
Okay, let's hear that other clip of Pat's expectations for the defense now. Third best scoring defense last year. They just added 2 dogs in free agency, and they added another one with their first round pick. How are the expectations for this defense now?
Yeah, you can embrace it, but at the end of the day, we understood the position we was in last year. You know, a lot of people counted us out, and we understood what that feeling feels like. So, you know, we don't try to go with the highs, we don't go with the lows. You know, we just try to stay in the middle of things. You know, and whatever's our destiny is our destiny at the end of the day. So, yeah, you can embrace
Is
it.
anyone counting the Broncos defense out this year? I'm truly asking, like, outside, are there national people that, I mean, I guess we saw PFF is leaving Zach Allen out of the top 10 defensive linemen. We saw that PS2's
Trevor
the
Sikkema.
second best
I looked it
cornerback.
up. That's who did it.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, that's tough right there. But is there a national consensus, or not consensus, but are there national people out there that don't think this Broncos defense is elite?
There's probably someone somewhere.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to find them and just make that be a chip on our shoulder.
Yeah. Sometimes it's okay just to say, you know what? Nobody hates us, but we can still go play good football.
Should I count out the Broncos defense as like a reverse psychology? Like give them something to say, like even our own local media doesn't
Put it on
believe
the bulletin board. Okay. There are worse ideas.
I'd be willing to do that for the team.
To practice. Just what would that sound like?
Look, I know they have all the best players and
This
really
isn't-
great coaching, and they were really good last year, but there's just something, I don't know, I don't have a good feeling about it.
Are we clipping
I mean,
that? Putting
it
out
does
there
kind
and
of sound like
tagging
how a
every
national
player?
guy would do it.
Yeah, it really is.
VJ's got one foot out the door.
Yeah.
He's looking for a head coaching opportunity.
Yeah. He's pulling a Jack Del Rio.
Did they have any turnover on the defensive staff?
A little bit.
They brought in this guy. They brought in a podcaster to be a
Oh,
coach.
there you go. That's a good one.
What are they thinking?
That's a good one.
That is really good. Well
Who's the
done.
Lakers coach?
JJ Redick.
JJ Redick. Yeah.
Didn't work for them.
No, it didn't.
Wow, you're onto something now.
What?
So
Mike Kliss
Ryan,
says Champ Bailey's at OTAs today.
wonder if he's playing outside corner.
Might be a spot open. Damn it. In Pat's defense, like he's done nothing wrong ever. And so it's one of those things where if it's like Stephon Diggs isn't going to those practices, you're just like, oh, this guy's a POS, get him out of here. When it's Pat, it's just like, okay, it's an annoyance, not like a big red flag.
It's maybe the least needed position at OTAs is an outside corner where they are truly on an island. And as much as I want to see Pat on the outside with Riley on the other side with Jahdae inside, like you said it, you can't wait for preseason. I totally agree with that. But like, it's not like there's chemistry that needs to be built, really. I mean, that's probably the least dependent position on the entire field. So it really is okay.
I just think like your best player should be, again, we talk about the leadership stuff. Like best players should be at these practices.
Ooh, that could be part of my take.
Yeah. They don't have the reps. They lost 3 reps.
Yeah.
3 days of reps.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
this. I don't like where we're going right now. We'll see if Pat's there on Thursday.
hope so.
And then it's just a one-off. If not, it will be interesting to see where things are. Last night, we didn't get an answer from Pat. To be fair, it wasn't asked if he's going to be there this week. I guess we got some soft local media.
Unbelievable.
Just unbelievable. Let's get to a couple super chats really quick. You got something first?
Oh, I did have something first, but now it's escaping my mind. Oh, a quick question for you guys. How do you feel about the utter lack of content that comes out of Broncos OTAs? Because now I'm paying attention to Browns and Jags OTAs, which
Yeah.
really wouldn't wish that upon
No.
anyone, but it's kind of interesting. and they are just pumping out content. I mean, especially the Jags. I feel like they've had 100 OTAs, and I feel like the Broncos have had one.
Yep.
And I've noticed some Broncos fans pretty bummed about it. I'm curious how you guys feel about it.
I totally understand why every fan is bummed, and honestly, that is intentional from Sean Payton.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to just...
Well, not to bum the fans out, but...
it's very much correlation with cutting everything down. When a new free agent signs with the Broncos, we don't hear from them until OTAs start. That's like 2 or 3 months that go by. And then when OTAs come around, nothing comes out of it outside of a couple of pictures.
Sean's not doing it to spite the fans or the media, though.
No.
I think he's doing it to instill in the team that, like, we're just here to work.
Yeah.
There's no videos. There's no glamour. Nothing's coming out of this. You're here to get a job done. And I'm not going to glorify this. Like, you are here to work. And I think that's what he's trying to do.
Well, and that's what he said in his opening press conference. He warned everyone when he was hired. He said, we're not going to be doing as much on social media now, but just know we're working. And especially, it was a direct contrast to what happened the year before when Nathaniel Hackett, and it wasn't just Hackett, but the Broncos social team and video team, they started doing like behind the Broncos.
Yeah,
it was behind the
it's great,
scenes
by
of the
the way.
Broncos. It was great. And so it was like the most open that the Broncos have been, going to the complete opposite of the most closed they've ever been. And hey, if it turns into wins, no one cares. And so far, Sean has been right. But it is a bummer for fans because they don't get to meet these guys. They don't get to see what's going on the field. So I totally understand that. But if it leads to wins, everyone's fine with it.
I do think that there's a line, though, where it's like, I get you want to minimize the distractions. But when you're trying so hard to avoid the distractions, that itself can become a distraction. And so when everybody else is talking about like, oh, is this happening? Is that, you know? And I don't know if they've crossed that line yet, but I don't know. The absolute concerted effort to make sure everything is so clamped down, that in itself maybe could take a little bit more energy than just like having one press conference would.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm of two minds about it. I'm obviously less impacted by it from a media standpoint now than I would have been, years ago. But I'm still impacted from the fan side, where it just doesn't even feel like the Broncos are doing anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that there is a world where you can just like post the play of the day, But I think to do that, you have to have cameras out there. And I honestly think that Sean would rather there be no one other than the football team out on the field during practice.
100%. 100%.
And
I respect that.
Even if they don't feed the fan base in the offseason, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, if it'd be nice if they had the clips, or it'd be nice if we go on here and say, like, oh, this rookie just cooked this guy 3 times, and now he's like, this is an awesome story that's going on. Or like, oh, this second-year practice squad guy is actually like fitting in, playing against whoever else. But we just don't get any of those storylines. So again, like, no Broncos fan is saying like, I'm just not interested. Like, I'm not going to buy tickets, or I'm not going to watch during the season because I don't get this now.
Right now, though, the Broncos do have an opportunity to capitalize even more, but it's not like they're missing out on things because the fans aren't going anywhere. But there's no Avs. There's no Nuggets, where the past many years, those teams have been going past OTAs. We're focusing on Rockies losing games right now. So
That's all we got.
They would have an opportunity to just capitalize and just own it even more. They already do a great job of that. But
Sean Payton just doesn't care about that.
Nope. And you know who else doesn't? Is the owners. Because there would be a chance that owners would be like, no, we're going to make this marketing money. We're going to make this money off social media. And the Broncos owners say, whatever's right for winning, Sean, we trust you. We'll go with
He
that.
said that's uniquely Broncos.
Yeah. Oh, man. Tommy in the super chat says, can't forget Pat's peanut punch on T. Higgins. Absolutely, Tommy. That was just textbook. That's a coach's dream of how he made that tackle and then punched the ball out in that game.
Yep.
It was huge. And then Evan says, any scenario where we should go get Nick Chubb?
If you really don't like what you're seeing from the young running backs,
Or the injuries scenario,
Yeah.
which we don't like to talk about. But other than that, like, you got 5 guys competing for one spot. You got Harvey's going to get one of them. I don't think you need to muddy that. Nick Chubb was really bad last year. I think, no, he was just hurt the year before that. He wasn't bad the year before that. aging running back seems like a bad investment. You could just give those touches to guys who seem to have more upside.
Yeah, and I agree. The Broncos aren't going to sign a veteran running back until training camp if they do.
Yeah.
No reason to sign him with 1 week of OTAs left. J.K. Dobbins is still out there. There's that weird situation with J.K. Dobbins, though, where you'd have to give up a draft pick to the Chargers now if you sign him. So very interesting situation. And I want to hear from Pat one more time. We're going to do that in overtime. Go to thednvr.com/overtime for the rest of this show. And the reason that I want to hear from Pat one more time is he talked about his foundation and what he's doing. And it is so cool for any player to be so involved in the community, but especially a guy who's 25 years old, who's going on his 3rd year of having his own foundation. It means he founded it when he was 22 years old. And so I just want everyone who wants to hear about what Pat's doing in the foundation have the opportunity to, because it is so cool, and he realizes, he gets it. He says, this community embraced me a lot when I came to Denver, so I'm embracing them and making sure that I give back. And he knows that he only has 10 or 15 years to make an impact as a football player, but he knows his impact can go way beyond that with his impact in the community. So we'll end the show on PS2 talking about his foundation. Then we'll see you tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast at 11 a.m. Pat, take us out.
I got my foundation event, which is fashion and couture, but the spotlight is with the cars, the whole venue and everything, being molded here, but the whole spotlight is to shine on the youth and everything that ties in with my foundation. So it's just to add the cars and the fashion to it to make it even better as well. So
the more that you prove yourself on the field, do you feel like it's just as important to keep that commitment up in the community and it'll leave an impact here in Denver and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to stay consistent with my philanthropy work, just going into the community, making sure I keep on doing bigger and bigger things throughout my foundation. And like I said, it's going to keep on getting better and better. So.
Yeah, last year you did this event. You did it up north. You still got teammates to drive all the way up there. How cool is it to find a venue down here that's this unique?
I know it's really right close to the house for real, but I think it's pretty unique to find different venues around that's complements my foundation and what I'm looking for. I think that's pretty cool. This is such a nice venue as well too, that I never noticed, but being able to be here around this atmosphere is pretty dope.
You've got a lot of teammates here supporting you. How much does that support mean to see those guys out here?
The support is real. I mean, you're talking about guys who, could take the time out their day to do anything, because we all busy out the field. We got stuff going on, but for them to come out and show support towards a great cause, I mean, it means a lot.
For those who don't know, maybe you could tell us about the history of your foundation, kind of your mission statement, what you hope to do, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my whole mission is to, get kids the right resources, give them the right tools to succeed at the next level for their future endeavors, and just provide them with the right resources compared to their suburban peers. At the end of the day, it's all about just giving back and shining the spotlight on the youth in this community.
Well, this is just a couple of years into your foundation. How happy are you with where it is at your event in the fall? You raised $250,000, if memory serves. And just to see where it's gone in the first couple of years of school, you've been able to help, and now you're expanding to help teachers as well?
Yeah. I'm starting a Teachers Fund. We'll talk about that later, but, it's just all about, just giving back to the community in a meaningful way. I mean, this is something that I envision. Just keep on having bigger and bigger events with my foundation. I mean, like I said, I got a great support system with me, a great team with me that helps as well. So a lot of work goes on behind the scenes that doesn't, get noticed as much, but, I'm forever thankful to be in this position to give back in a meaningful way.
Last week, one of your teammates, Vaughn Miller, was saying, you come to Denver, there's an expectation of giving back. So, what does it kind of mean to come here and be in an organization where this is part of the standard to be part of?
Yeah, I just want to give back in the right way, because Denver showed me love right away from the jump. As a rookie, I didn't know what to expect. Obviously there's a lot of expectations on me, but Denver showed me a lot of love. And my point of it is just to give back to the community that show love at first. So this is my way.
We all silly like the mayor.